Hello and welcome to a series of videos about Genshin Impact where I talk about specific cultural references hiding in each of the characters, places, or things. Our today's guest is Baizhu, and I'm gonna go over his visual appearance and the references in Chinese culture, over his talent names and constellation names. Fair disclaimer is that I have had to research this information. I'm not a Chinese scholar. So if someone who is a member of this culture or who has better knowledge of it than me makes a similar video or post and they disagree with me, you should probably trust them. And with that in mind, let's get started. First of all, his hairpin, and his hairpin is called a jian. That is a traditional Chinese hairpin that has been used for centuries as an accessory to hold hairstyles. It's usually a very long, slender pin with some decorative ornaments on one end. There can be different designs, different materials. On his right arm, he has a jade bracelet. The jade stone bracelet is known as a precious stone of grace. It symbolizes elegance, purity, grace. It's believed that if a person wears a jade bracelet, it's gonna bring them wealth, health, good fortune. The snake pendant on his belt is also a jade pendant. I think the general Chinese name for them is Yupei. Overall, jade pendants are a big part of the culture. Some sources say that jade is even more important in Chinese culture than gold. But overall, they are a symbol of good luck and protection, beauty, elegance, virtue, mortality, longevity, and immortality. He has a coin bracelet on his ankle, and the coins are commonly associated with luck, wealth, and prosperity in Chinese culture. The coin bracelet is typically a symbol of auspiciousness, and it's believed to attract positive energy and financial abundance, as well as ward off possible negative influences. And that is unfortunately all I could find for his visual appearance. I will of course continue looking and I will make a new video later. But for today, that's it. And now we're gonna move on to his talent names. The first talent in English is called the Classics of Acupuncture. The first two characters actually mean golden cabinet, so it can also mean that something that has been passed down for a long time. It can also be a metaphor, likely meaning something along the lines of erudite. There's also a book called Synopsis of the Golden Chamber, but only the first two characters, the Golden Chamber, are the same. But that is a classical clinical work of traditional Chinese medicine. His second talent, universal diagnosis. The first two characters are a Chinese term that can be translated as grace simplicity. In the context of traditional Chinese medicine, it refers to the principle of using simple and natural remedies to treat illnesses rather than relying on complex or artificial methods. And this principle is based on the idea that the body has a natural ability to heal itself, and that the role of the physician is to facilitate the process by supporting the body's own healing mechanisms. It can also be used in other contexts to refer to the concept of simplicity, humility, or plainness. The other two characters are a term that can be translated as essential principles of diagnosis and treatment. In the context of traditional Chinese medicine, it probably refers to the fundamental principles and guidelines for diagnosing and treating various diseases and conditions. That term emphasizes the importance of accurate diagnosis and individualized treatment. His third talent, holistic revivification, based on the literal translation of each character, it can be interpreted as discussion on the recovery of qi and the complete form. And in traditional Chinese medicine, qi is the vital energy or life force that flows through the body and is essential for health and well-being. The concept of complete form may refer to the holistic approach of traditional Chinese medicine, which aims to treat the whole person rather than just the symptoms of a disease or condition. Fourth talent, five fortunes forever. The first two characters most likely refer to the five lucks, which are metal, wood, water, fire, and earth. So in ancient Chinese, they probably believed that the change of natural climate was the result of the cycle of yin and yang and five movements, so constant changes and repeated governance. And the five movements are an important part of the theory of five movements and six qi. So most likely this refers to the five luck and six qi theory. And that is a theory of traditional Chinese medicine, which fully reflects the holistic view of correspondence between man and nature. The last two characters of the name mean all day long or forever. It's generally used in situations such as farewell to death, endless hatred, and such. So it's like forever. The fifth talent, all things that are of the earth. It could be a quote from the Yellow Emperor's Canon of Internal Medicine. It's from a quote that's said by a mythological Chinese doctor who was employed by the Yellow Emperor as his minister. It is said that the doctor was enlightened with the knowledge of traditional Chinese medicine by an ethereal being from the heavens. And now let's move on to his constellations. His first constellation, Attentive Observation. The first two characters refer to the name of a disease or to the sound of moaning in pain. And the other two characters are Chinese word meaning extremely fine things, like very subtle things. So together it can mean like a very slight moan of pain. I couldn't find anything distinctive for the second constellation, so we're just gonna skip that. Third constellation, all aspects stabilized. First two characters, a Chinese word interpreted as the harmony of the 8 directions, or in Buddhism, the 8 righteous ways. And the other two characters are a system to determine solar terms. The fifth constellation, the hidden ebb and flow. The first characters can mean like at the same time more than enough and not enough, rise and fall, or the waxing and waning of the moon. And the other two characters I read as Zhangjiang. I hope I pronounced it right. That originated from the work called Su and Six Sections of Zhangjiang, and that holds significant importance in traditional Chinese medicine because it encompasses the understanding of internal organs, known as Zhang, and their external manifestations through physiological and pathological things, refers to as Zhang. And that is a very central theory to traditional Chinese medicine. And finally, the sixth constellation is elimination of malicious qi. In traditional Chinese culture and the East Asian cultural sphere, qi is believed to be a vital force forming part of any living entity. It is basically a central principle in traditional Chinese medicine. I think there is much more hidden within the talent names and constellation names, and I will continue my research in the upcoming times, and most likely there will be another videos. But that is what I bring to you today. Thank you so much for your attention. Thank you so much for watching this video. I really appreciate the time that you took. And I hope I could provide something interesting for you today. And I'll see you in the next video.